This is Spirit of Benefactor, registered Morgan. You can take a look at his legs. They're pretty straight. His feet are really good, no shoes. Okay, so I'm going to show you how Henry clips here pretty easily. Okay, so this is Henry's work bridle. I'm not using a show bridle because I figure if somebody's not going to show, they'll just use a regular bridle. You can use any kind of rings you want. No cavison, and he wears a Robart pinchless tom thumb with a curb chain. Henry does tie to the trailer, so you can bridle him at a horse show at the trailer if you would like. Tack him up, do everything at the trailer, or you could do it in the stall. We mostly get stalls at shows, but you know, if you're going to go on a trail ride or something. We've never actually trail ridden him, taking him off the property and trail ridden him like big time trail or anything, so I don't know how he would be with that, but we mostly show, and we've only shown him Western, and one of my clients showed him Western all last year, mostly locally. So he's pretty easy to deal with. He's very sound. He does have Cushing's, early stage Cushing's, which just means he has a metabolic issue that he has to take a tablet for, half a tablet every day of Persen. And it just keeps his hair coat from getting too thick, and it keeps the Cushing's under control. We've been riding him on kind of a loose rein lately, so you'll see that. Hopefully that'll be desirable to somebody who wants to do some pleasure riding and maybe small shows and just kind of do that. He's 16 years old, like my other driving horse for sale, almost the same age. And so I was hoping for a home where he would be utilized as an at-home kind of horse, or even a practice horse for somebody that has a show horse elsewhere or something like that. So he can wear a hunt, Western, or saddle seat saddle. He won't move like a saddle seat horse, but you can practice on him in a saddle seat saddle. And he can wear a Pelham, a Kimberwick, a Snaffle, or obviously this Tom Thumb. And he doesn't need a cavison, but when we ride him English, we do put a cavison on just because it looks nice, and we just leave it loose. My last Morgan Showcase video was of our indoor arena, so I thought it might be fun to have an outdoor video out here when it's a really nice day. He really likes horse shows with outdoor arenas. Actually, he's very well behaved in outdoor riding rings. The Coliseum style rings, he's not crazy about those with people above his head, so that's something to know. But he'll do it, he just will be a little bit more nervous, so you'd want a little more advanced rider for that. Okay, so I'm just showing you that you can get on and you can hold a whip with him. He's not fearful of whips, he does respect them, but you can wave it around or make a mistake and he'll be fine. So just keep that in mind. You can do two hands direct reining, you can do one hand neck reining. You just need more leg, obviously, with the neck reining, because sometimes he's a little lazy about it. He's not the most up-headed Morgan in the world, obviously. We are not pretending that he is. That's why he is priced where he is priced. We try to be as honest as possible. There are times this year, for some reason, there are times where he'll stick his tongue out a little bit, and we don't tie his tongue because he's Western and it's illegal to do so to show, so we don't tie his tongue. So we're just trying to work on getting him to not do that. He's got the easiest possible Western bridle on that I can possibly find. So I don't know, I don't think it's the bit, I think it's just whatever. I think it's just a habit that he figured out he could do, and all of that. So you'll see him kind of tip it out the side a little bit here and there. It's not usually over the bit, the tongue is not over the bit, it is just out the side a little bit. So you can correct it by just shaking that one side of his head a little bit and he'll stick it back in. So so it's not a huge deal, but it does occur. So I want to be honest and open, and I don't want to do the typical trying to hide things and lie about things that a lot of folks do when they're trying to sell a horse. I started this video the other day and we ran out of space on our phones to take the video. So I'm in a different outfit. So this is a different day of videotaping. You can use your legs on it. You don't have to ride around with your knees pinched in and your calves out and all that stuff. You can ride like a normal rider. Go in and out of tight spaces over here with all the shrubs and bushes and all that kind of stuff. He'll go right by the pool. Henry was turned out for about an hour today before we worked him. We typically turn him out a couple days a week, just for maybe like 2-3 hours at the most. And we use these pens right over here that are kind of short grass, because obviously he's a Cushing's horse, so we just have to be careful with the sugar. So we just use these nice little pens that we mow and keep them kind of nice and short. So he usually gets lunged and or turned out, sometimes both. In the winter, I'd say you'd want to do a lot of, do some lunging, probably half hour or something like that. If it's really cold, let him kick up, let him do all that. If he's been turned out a lot, you might be able to get on him without, lunging first. But just like any horse, I mean, you need to keep that in mind, you know, maybe work him some before you ride him, especially if you're going to ride him outside of the fence. So I've never trail ridden him in the winter out here. I'm calling this trail riding for our purposes. So he'd probably be a lot more awake, and you probably would have to lunge him, turn him out, do all that stuff. But most horses, you should do that anyway. So, you know, it's not smart to just yank him out of the stall and try to go trail riding. It's not a good idea. I know people do it, but that's not really what we do. So, so he's pretty good. He does not have a lot of trail experience overall, and we just started him this year with some trail stuff, and he's doing really well. So I would say he's doing really well. He's mostly been a show horse, like I said, but he really enjoys this, and my other driving horse that's for sale really likes it too. So we're just trying to prove to you the things that he can do, because we feel like a lot of people don't really show a whole lot of proof, and just trotting around to music in an indoor arena doesn't always do it for somebody who wants a horse that you can actually use.